Tonight's action will start as far as stakes races in race 9, the James Lynch Memorial for 3-year-old pacing fillies. And last week it was 3 eliminations to produce the 9 finalists. In one of the eliminations, Big City Betty finished a good second, and Jimmy Marone Jr. was there to talk about her effort and her outlook this week.
Top of the stretch, it's Brazuca leading by 2. Roaring to go, pulls the pocket, far outside. Miscute is closing well. Inside, Big City Betty. Brazuca has them all at bay at the moment. Big City Betty sneaking up.
Oh, this race, it's going to play out. There's going to be a lot of speed early. And, these are the best 3-year-old fillies in the country. I expect there to be some fireworks, probably, right out of the gate, to the half. There'll probably be some movement. And I think you're going to see a really good race and a really good finish. Having the inside here is good. She's very handy. She could get right off the car with the best of them. She could come back, to work out a trip, off the gate if I want her to. I'm going to have to just be a little patient and see what goes on around me, when the race starts. Because I think there'll be a lot more early speed in this race than if a couple of the better ones had the inside. But with a lot of the better ones having the outside and probably the horse to beat having the rail, I think there'll be a lot more early speed, and I think I'm in a good spot here to work out a good trip.
Well, Jimmy Marone has a good idea. He's sitting right outside Tequila Monday, and he's got a horse with good tactical speed, so he could be in a position to follow Tequila Monday in the Lynch. On the outside, Caviar Alley was a reasonably good third last week, but this week post 8, and Andrew McCarthy talks about her chances.
Caviar Alley on the inside, outside Betters up, but Agent Q is in command late. It's David Miller at Agent Q on the front end by a length and a half.
No, there's some nice fillies drawn inside of me, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of early speed. I've just got to hope that they really mix things up to the half and I can pick up some pieces late.
The Max Hempt is race 10. It's a $500,000 event for 3-year-old colt pacers. Last week there were 3 eliminations, and the biggest surprise of the 3 was the victory of Santa Fe's Coach in one of the 3 eliminations with Anthony Napolitano. Here's Santa Fe's Coach in action.
Top of the stretch, Boogie Shuffle with the lead. Santa Fe's Coach on the outside, coming up strong here. It's Boogie Shuffle, Santa Fe's Coach, and Ozone Blue Chip at the pylons. Ozone Blue Chip, Santa Fe's Coach trying to pull off the stunner. Santa Fe's Coach and Anthony Napolitano at 21-1.
He's really surprised us. He's got the least amount of starts. He's getting better every week. There's tough competition in there, and he's definitely going to have to step it up a notch. And hopefully the trip works out and we come out on top, but anything can happen. Oh yeah, he doesn't mind being anywhere on the gate. He's well behaved. Leo and Angelo did a great job training this colt down. He does everything right. And if anything, any success he's had, he makes me look good. I think Brett's going to leave out of there for sure. I don't see why he wouldn't. And the one's going to be leaving for sure. So hopefully I can get away up in the top 3 and just suck along and hope to get lucky late.
Anthony got lucky last week, and he's going to have to be luckier even more so this week. But moving ahead to the Ben Franklin, race 11 on the program, another $500,000 event, and this is for open pacers. And it starts from the inside with Keystone Velocity, the George Martin Levy Memorial winner, and last week he a mild upset winner in one of 3 eliminations.
Keystone Velocity showing, still in the pocket. Mock It So, top of the stretch. It's Freaky Feet Pete. Trace Teacher asking for more. Mock It So inside. All bets off. Outside, Keystone Velocity out 4 wide. All bets off and Mock It So. Keystone Velocity. Keystone Velocity. Simon Allard and the Levy champ for the win.
But my horse is so good right now. Couldn't be any better. Having that last trip coming from the back. Usually after he gets a trip like that, it really braves him up. And he had a little bit of time off before. My brother said he was shooting for that race. So the horse on top of his game. I think I'm feeling great right now. I'm pretty confident. I've been driving good, so I think it's going to be a great race, and I think I'm going to do real good. Keystone actually went 48-2 in the mud. It was unreal that night, and people thought that was like a 46 mile. So he's good from the back. He's good near the front. He's good in the 2-hole. He's good in the mud. He's good at any time. I'm just glad I don't have to race against a horse like Sweet Lou or Wiggle It, Jiggle It, and all them horses. I think it's a real good race. Like, it's pretty even feel. It's going to be a good race.
Last year, Mel Mara had to deal with Horse of the Year and World Champion Always Be Mickey in probably the most memorable elimination heat of all time was last year's Franklin elimination where Mel Mara attempted to park Always Be Mickey. He did so, but it proved to be his demise as Always Be Mickey went on to win that race and the final. This year, there's no Always Be Mickey, no Wiggle It, Jiggle It, but there is a Mel Mara, and he was very present last week with an impressive performance in elimination.
Top of the stretch, Mel Mara by a length and 3/4. Luck be with you, trying to make another move at him. Inside Rock and Ron, Mel Mara looking fine on the front end, and Mel Mara is pacing away. Mel Mara and Corey Callahan by 4.
Well, I think he's going to have to go faster. You know, with the shorter fields, it made tactically things a little bit easier. But you know, with a big field, there's going to be a lot of them taking a shot out of there. So you're going to see big fractions. So I'm assuming they'll definitely go faster than 48 and 4 what he did tonight.
Ron Burke has always had power in the age division, and this year, All Bets Off has picked up the mantle for past horses like the aforementioned Sweet Lou and certainly foiled again, and All Bets Off couldn't be any sharper than he's been the last 2 weeks, and Matt Kelly was very impressed with last week's performance.
You know, I'm looking into the race, and I like the spot. He's the 3 hole's a great spot at Pocono. You know, there's speed inside. Mel Mara's going to be inside. I mean, Keystone Velocity race really good off the rail. You know, there's a couple outside horses that I'm sure going to leave, Rock and Ron, Mock It So. But I like my spot. You know, my horse is handy. I can lead with him. I can duck him. You know, so we'll just see how the gate folds. Obviously, Keystone Velocity raced really good last week. He got a great trip, though. He followed me all the way around the racetrack, and he got up in the final stride to beat me. You know, he's a good horse. He tripped out last week, but he's a good horse anyway. Mel Mara was very, very good. He's obviously the one to beat, but you know, I think Rock and Ron was really good last week too. He had sneaky pace in the lane. You know, he would be one not to overlook. You know, I think that, you know, the race goes to Mel Mara. I just hope I can get a good trip. Ronnie usually you know, leaves it up to me. If he wants something specific done or he thinks a race is going to go a certain way, he'll call me and talk to me about it or whatever, but he usually leaves it up to me. You know, me and this horse, we know each other pretty good, so you know, usually it's my call what we do.
Mock It So last week finished third, and it was actually a pretty impressive third, being that Freaky Feet Pete cut some really wicked fractions, and Mock It So was really on the wire. First start on a big track in quite some time, and that might have tightened him up. Tim Tetrick gives his viewpoint.
You know, just try to save ground, you know, get up close early, and, you know, he's not one that likes to be on the outside a lot, so hopefully we can get a good draw and, you know, find an inside seam there late.
After the Franklin, I should say, the 12th race is the $500,000 Earl Beal Memorial for 3-year-old trotters, and it usually is for colt trotters, but on this occasion we have 8 colts and 1 filly, Ariana G. Starting from the inside, Long Tom, one of the 3 elimination winners and the fastest of the 3 with Tim Tetrick.
Long Tom in from the Meadowlands. He was ready for the 5/8 tonight. He rolls by 6 lengths with Tim Tetrick.
He won a very good race. He's, you know, he won the New Jersey Sire Stake final, and, you know, it's going to be a tough race. Just hope for a good draw.
Right outside of Long Tom in post 3 is Sortie with Andrew McCarthy. A decent second last week, but I think they want this horse to improve.
Sortie's usually pretty good gated. He made a break the previous start to the elimination. Made a little bubble getting out of there, but it wasn't a big deal. And then he was fine in the last turn. We're just going to make a couple of small adjustments, and I think he should be pretty good for the final. You know what? I've got the 3-hole. It gives me a pretty good spot to eye things up early. There's kind of 2 ways I can play it, and I'll be able to figure it out pretty much straight away. She is such an incredible filly, Ariana G. I think she has the potential to beat the boys, but I know she's not going to get a half in 57-4 in this race.
Sortie into second, trying to cut out the margin here. Into third, the
You know
long
what, my
shot,
filly
Lucky
raced
Matter,
pretty good
and it's
in
long. Tom
the
in from
elimination.
Meadowlands. He
She
was
might have just
ready
come
for
up a
the
little
5/8
short. I
tonight.
think
He
she should
rolls
be a little
by
better in the
6
final,
lengths
but
with
obviously
Tim
post 8
Tetrick.
is going to hinder us a
Sortie
little bit.
second, Lucky Matter a long shot third. Give it gas.
And the filly, Ariana G, has been just absolutely awesome this year, winning the New Jersey Sire Stakes and then coming here racing against the boys for the first time in last week's Beal elimination and just basically putting them to sleep and crawling around the track at her own and winning well in hand. Yannick Ingers talks about her performance.
Ariana G is a great horse. Well, she beat him very easily in the elimination. Obviously, it's going to be harder in the final. Post position is going to be a big factor. And I mean, there's Long Tom's a really good horse. And no, there's more than him. You know what I mean? The horse I drove for Aki raced good as well. And I'm sure, you know, Boot and Shane's going to have his horses ready. So it's a filled stack of nice horses. So, you know, I wouldn't trade mine for anybody, that's for sure. I think, you know, if she gets a good post, I think she's a horse, you know, she's the one to beat. But anything can happen. She was the best 3-year-old filly, and she came back even stronger this year.
And that's the big story. Ariana G post 8 tonight, racing against the boys. More boys that are going to give it a shot, $500,000. But I wouldn't bet against Ariana G. I wouldn't bet against Jimmy Takter. They planned to come here. They obviously felt from early last season. I remember her first baby races. Jimmy loved her from the start, and she's been perfect, almost perfect ever since, and certainly looked as perfect as a racehorse could look last week and cruising through the New Jersey Sire Stakes. It may be a little tougher tonight, but I think this filly is really up to the task.